Well, episode 1 is off to an explosive start. That was a little messed up. Hey guys, welcome back to our corner of the web. So, I thought about waiting until Secret Invasion ended before doing a video on it, but then I thought, why not just try making a review for every episode? So I put down a bunch of bullet points while watching the episode, and I figured I would just go through them. I have some thoughts, lots of questions, so I'm just gonna get right into it. So first up, I wanted to point out that I thought it was interesting the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that had his little voiceover monologue at the beginning of the episode. What he was saying was basically a cool little synopsis of the show, and I thought that was cool. So a lot happened in that first scene, and some thoughts that I had. First of all, what happened to the real Agent Ross? Because normally when the Skrulls take over and become another person, something happens to that real person. So I'm just wondering where he's at and if he's okay, what's going on with him. I'm wondering if he's going to show up in the show at all anymore, or if he was just in the first episode. Also, I'm curious when Skrulls became common knowledge within S.H.I.E.L.D. and like what happened to the events of Captain Marvel. Because I don't know if it ever talked about it since then. So I don't know if that's just something that all S.H.I.E.L.D. agents know, or like when that became common knowledge. During that first scene, there was all this back and forth. I was like, I think Agent Ross, like that's actually him. And then I was like, I don't know, he's kind of seeming sus. I think he might be a Skrull. And then I thought he was real again. And that whole feeling of like not knowing who to trust and what's real, I know that's definitely going to be a theme in the whole show. And I love it, but it also drives me crazy. To finish off that scene, I want to say, rip to the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Like, he was so into it, and he just was doing his job, and he was doing it well, and didn't end well. So, after Nick Fury comes back, we find out that, unfortunately, Talos' wife has passed away. And that's just so sad. We didn't get to see much of her, but, I mean, the way they talked about her, she seemed really great. And I kind of wish we had seen more of her, and I kind of hope that maybe we have flashbacks so we can see what she was like and the impact that she had on all of them. The way Talos and Nick Fury were talking in this entire scene makes me really wonder what has happened between Captain Marvel and now. I mean, it's like a huge span of time, and what were all the Skrulls doing behind the scenes, and what was Nick Fury doing in connection with them? So I really hope it goes more into that. I realized when looking at the whole setup that Gravik and the Rebellion have, it reminded me, I'm pretty sure that in Captain Marvel, that is what they were taught, was that the Skrulls were experts at infiltrating and espionage, and they will take over and tear apart your entire country without you even knowing it. So it was really interesting to see that all play out. Interesting, yet scary. Also, I noticed that they said that Nick Fury was on a saber station, and yet this whole time I was thinking that it was S.W.O.R.D. So I did look it up, and I guess Saber doesn't exist in the comics, but the theory is that it's like a branch of S.W.O.R.D. or something like that, like maybe the space station of S.W.O.R.D. So it's a little confusing. I don't think we'll really find out much more about that until the Marvels movie, but I hope it's explained because it's a little confusing, and I want to know what he was doing up there for so long. Then we get to the scene with Nick Fury and Sonya. And obviously you can tell they have some sort of history, something happened there. And part of me wants to know the events that played out and how they know each other, but part of me doesn't. Now, I'm not really sure if I believe what he said about getting kidnapped on purpose, but he was quick to put that camera on the owl, so maybe? On that note, obviously we can see that a very big plot point that they're having in the show is that Nick Fury has changed. He's not the man we once knew him to be, and while that's understandable given everything that's happened, it's still sad to see. I mean, I grew up with this strong, formidable force of nature who was always 3 steps ahead, and things are different now, and that can be hard to accept. While we're still in the feels, I wanted to say that I do feel really bad for the Skrulls. I mean, honestly, they've been waiting so long for a planet of their own, one that was promised to them by Nick Fury and Carol Danvers, and seeing the little community that they built for themselves, it's just, you feel bad. However, the whole kidnapping people and stealing their lives is pretty disturbing. But at least it seemed painless. Okay, so for some reason, in the beginning, I was thinking that Gravik was just some random guy, but then I realized that I'm pretty sure he has some sort of history with Fury, Talos, and Gaia, and I really hope they go into that, because obviously that's really important in why he's doing what he's doing and how he's doing it. Okay, so there was that whole scene where Talos, Hill, and Fury were all trying to steal the bombs from Gaia. Now, first of all, I wanted to say that those MI6 agents seemed a little too easy to beat. Like, it was just like that, and they were done. Like, it was nothing. It was kind of weird. Also, I thought that Nick Fury's comments about getting the Avengers for his midlife crisis was pretty funny. That whole fight scene with Talos and the other Skrull and then Fury stepping in, it kind of felt like two older guys trying to prove that they've still got it. Also, I think that Talos feels a lot of guilt for what happened, which is very sad, and I think we'll see a lot more of that, especially if he does have a history with Gravik. Also, apparently I wanted it to be known that I had a feeling that Emilia Clarke was Gaia not long before they revealed it, so. So I don't know if this was obvious or something, but in the bar when Hill and Fury were in front of the chessboard and they were talking, she said something about him owing it to someone returning to Earth. And I'm curious who else she could be talking about. And I wonder if that question will even be answered. Also, I'm curious how Gaia even communicated with Talos so that they could meet up and talk. Because I feel like that would be monitored in some way. It was crazy looking back and realizing that Gravik probably knew exactly what he was doing, sending her in there. And it was just this whole big, elaborate plan. The final scene got pretty intense. That was crazy, honestly. It was really cool the way they had Gravik going around and like changing from the different people. Like, obviously each of those scenes earlier on, you were supposed to be suspicious of what was going on, but actually seeing it play out and realizing it was him the whole time was just insane. Gosh, I had a feeling it was a trick. Like, I don't know if I fully believe that Gaia wanted to betray Talos, but it happened. It was rough. And I am just so mad about what happened to Maria. I don't think she should have died. I don't see the purpose of it. I'm just very annoyed, very frustrated, because I really liked her and obviously I did not want her to go. And I really hope they bring her back. So that is all I have for episode 1 of Secret Invasion. Overall, I liked it. There were certain parts I did not like as much, but overall I thought it was good. They really got into it pretty quick, but I think they did pretty good with the setup, and I am excited but kind of nervous for how things will play out in future episodes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave a comment giving your thoughts on the first episode. And if you want to hear my thoughts on the other episodes of Secret Invasion, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, bye.